Come on in, child. Sit where the light falls easy. These mountains been holding a story about two young'uns who grew up side by side like twin saplings in spring. Their laughter still lingers in the hollers if you listen with your remembering heart. The two who walked the long way home. They say up on Briarshine Mountain, where the pines lean in like they're listening, two children once grew a friendship so steady it outlasted storms, seasons, and even their own stubbornness. Back when they were no taller than the blackberry brambles, there was Tansy, a girl with laughter quick as creek water, and Vernon, a boy who carried quiet like it was a second skin. Tansy talked enough for the both of them. Vernon listened like every word mattered. Every morning before chores, they'd meet at the split rail fence between their family's cabins. Tansy would bring a story, Vernon would bring a biscuit, and together they'd walk the long way to school. Down the ridge, across the footbridge, past the old sycamore that leaned like an elder with opinions. Folks said you couldn't pry those two apart with a crowbar. But children don't stay children. By the time they were teenagers, life had started tugging them in different directions. Tansy dreamed big, talked about leaving the mountain, seeing cities where the buildings touched the clouds. Vernon felt rooted, said the mountain had raised him and he wasn't done being raised. They argued once, sharp enough to make the birds go quiet. And for the first time in their lives, they walked to school alone. The mountain felt it. Even the wind seemed to hold its breath. One late autumn evening, a storm rolled in, sudden and mean. Vernon's little sister didn't come home from gathering firewood. Folks scattered lanterns across the ridge, calling her name into the dark. Tansy didn't hesitate. She grabbed her boots and ran straight into the storm. She found Vernon halfway up the mountain, soaked through, shouting into the wind. Without a word, she took his hand, and together they searched, two beams of lantern light cutting through the rain. They found the little girl shivering beneath the old sycamore, scared but safe. When they brought her home, Vernon looked at Tansy with a softness he hadn't shown in years. "You always come when it matters," he said. "And you always know where to look," she answered. The mountain exhaled. Time kept moving, as it does. Tansy did leave the mountain for a while, went to learn, to work, to see the world she dreamed of. Vernon stayed, tending land, tending family, tending the quiet places. But every time Tansy came home, she'd find Vernon waiting at that same split-rail fence, two biscuits wrapped in cloth, just like when they were children. And they'd walk the long way again, down the ridge, across the footbridge, past the old sycamore that still leaned like an elder with opinions. Folks say some friendships are like lightning, bright, sudden, gone. But others are like mountains, slow-built, steady, and older than memory. Tansy and Vernon's friendship became one of those stories people tell when the fire burns low. A reminder that some bonds don't break. They bend, they stretch, they wander, but they always find their way home. And if you walk Briarshine Mountain at dawn, you might still hear two voices, one laughing, one listening, drifting down the ridge like they never grew up at all. Hold this close now. The sweetest friendships don't fade. They settle in you, gentle as dusk, and stay long after the day is done.